Welcome to the Spiritual Principles Made Practical podcast. I'm your host, Scott Friedman, and today we're going to talk about favorite topic of a lot of people is forgiveness. And what is forgiveness and how does it work and all of that. And uh, the big thing about forgiveness is and this is pretty widely known, is that you don't do it for the other guy, you do it for yourself, right? When I was very first in the mortgage business 40 years ago, I got mad all the time because all kinds of stuff was happening that just wasn't right. It wasn't fair. People weren't being honest. People weren't following through. People weren't keeping their word. It was really ugly. And uh, I realized that, I was mad a lot of the time. And one of the things that I realized early on is that I could be angry or I could move forward, but I couldn't do both. And so what forgiveness is letting go of the anger and so that I can move forward. Now, one of the things that I've realized is that letting go of a situation is a lot easier once I've extracted all of the learning about it. So have a when I'm angry at somebody or that somebody's sort of done me wrong or bad things have happened, I want to study it and learn, extract all the learning I can out of it. And once I've done that, then it's a lot easier for me to let go of it, right? And then I can say, okay, well, next time I'm confronted with this situation, I'm going to handle it differently in this specific way. Okay, and then I know that I've extracted the learning out of it when it's easy for me to let go of it, right? And but the best way to stay stuck is to hold a grudge. I mean, because you just can't move on. You can't improve your life. So ultimately, my understanding of forgiveness is an act of self-respect that I understand that forgiveness is allowing myself to extract the learning from a situation, let it go and move on and be more capable and better, as I move on because now if I encounter that same situation again, I'm going to handle it better. And that's really my understanding of forgiveness and how it works and such. And the other thing about forgiveness is that it keeps us thinking about the past, right? And uh, the more that we're thinking and creating the past in our present moment, the worse things are for us because everything good and wonderful happens in the present moment. And truthfully, the present moment is the only moment that exists. But we're not even aware of that when we're in creating the past in our mind, right? When we're like reliving this, like so one of the things that I'm gonna try to do right now is I'm gonna try to see if I can identify an area of forgiveness that I hadn't noticed before. So one of the things that I would like to forgive I would like to forgive the thought that um, I need stress to move forward, and that I create stress in my life because I need that as motivation. So I create financial stress so it'll motivate me. I create marital stress because I believe it'll motivate me, and it's time to forgive that concept. Right? Because I said, well, one of the great things about my wife is that, I would do things for her that I wouldn't do for myself that I should be willing to do for myself, but I just wouldn't. But if I do it for her, then it's easier for to do it for myself as well. And I want to give up that sort of lack of self-respect where I say that, I need to, create financial stress to get the most out of myself. I need to create marital stress to get the most out of myself. And I want to forgive all of that because it's holding me back. That idea that I need the stress to progress in my life. And I think it's time to forgive that thought, and so I'm going to spend some time um, focused on listening to that and learning more about that, right? Extracting the learning from it so I can let it go. Because, I want to be doing all my growth in a much more joyful and less stressful manner than I have been. And so it's time for me to let go of that concept that I need stress as a motivator for me to grow and develop and accept more fully who I am. So that's a thing that we can do is that anything that's going on in our life and that's been going on for a long time, we know it's there because we created it. And if it's not pleasant, we can forgive it. And so I encourage you to follow my example of um, stress that you've created on an ongoing basis in your life and the thoughts behind that stress, and to extract all the learning you can from that and then let it go. So we'll do this together. I always want to provide a real life example from my own life in these podcasts because it's good for me, but I think it's also good for you because the most powerful form of leadership is example, and this is I want to be an example of forgiving myself for so much of the stress that I've created in my life. And I just I think it's time, and I'm using this video as and this podcast as a tool to help me with that. And it should help you as well. So I can help you and me, right? Because we're all one. So anytime that I help uplift you, it uplifts me and the rest of the world as well, with thought coaching. And so, I mean, like I say, we experience, or we believe, some of what we hear, more of what we see, but we believe everything that we experience. And until you've experienced thought coaching with me, you have not experienced thought coaching with me. It is an event. And I encourage you to uh, go to my contact me and sign up for a free introductory coaching session so that you can see what it's all about. You can do that by emailing me with coaching in the subject line to scottfriedman40@gmail.com, ScottFriedman 40@gmail.com. My books are available on Amazon, and you can find links to them on my website, www.thoughtcoachingbyscott.com. And every podcast, I like to highlight one of my 13 books. And today I think we're going to do Healing Ourself, Healing the World. And the concept is that because we're all one, anytime that we heal ourselves, we heal our world. And that needs to really be, if we want to be efficient, our top priority. And healing is accepting the truth of who we are. So I recommend that book. Okay, be well.